Hello, everybody. I hope everybody is having a lovely Friday and a lovely coffee morning. Well, I am very, very excited to share a couple of notes today, and I'm a little bummed that I could not be there in person, but I hope this will be a good summary of what I did want to present today. Today, I want to talk about a very important marketing topic, which is actually the non-digital part of marketing. Now, a lot of the time when we talk marketing, we talk about social media, we talk about Instagram, we talk about Facebook, and all the other many awesome facets that are there. Today, though, I want to hone in on the non-digital side of marketing so as to prove to you or explain to you that non-digital efforts are still a viable facet in 2025. So I will begin by introducing myself for those who have not yet met me. I am Nala. I am a digital marketing consultant for Invictamed, and you'll usually find me talking digital, non-digital, and everything in between. I'm really, really excited to be presenting today's topic to you. So I want to begin with an awesome statistic that I found recently. Okay, so as the end of 2024 approached, there were many studies conducted about the medical sector when it comes to Dubai. Okay, historically, we haven't had those numbers available to us, so it was very difficult to navigate marketing with numbers in the UAE. As of recent, okay, a lot of research is coming out. Dubai is one of these emerging cities with a booming medical market that's forever expanding. As of last year, these are the metrics. Okay, when I say last year, I'm talking about December. Okay, so now we're only end of February, so these are pretty recent numbers. Now, I want you to look at this first metric, 4,609. That's the number of clinics that are currently in Dubai. So these are clinics that are aesthetic clinics, dental clinics, as well as medical clinics, okay, or polyclinics that have all three. So this number, this huge number, actually excludes hospitals, wellness centers, and anything that isn't considered, let's say, a clinic. Okay, and the number is still quite huge. When you break this number down into how many clinics are currently registered and are active on Instagram, you find another statistic, which is 73.4% of those clinics are currently on Instagram. Studies looked at the average amount, the average number spent on meta ads, so that's Facebook and Instagram ads alone, without Google ads and anything in between. They found that on a monthly basis, clinics were spending about 35,700 dirhams a month on meta ads. Now, these numbers are very interesting to me because it means that, 73% of the 4,609 clinics are all trying to say the same thing. All of us have registered ourselves on Instagram. All of us are trying to fight the same war, essentially, okay? Everybody is paying for ads. We're all telling the consumer the same thing. Here's our Instagram page. Here are our meta ads. Look at how good we are. Look at how maybe cheap we are. Look at how maybe this we are. Come to us. Now, the fact that there is 4,609 clinics as of last year in Dubai means that the competition in the city, to say that it's fierce would be an understatement. And with that being in mind, that means that we have to differentiate ourselves. There's no way that we can survive in this really, really, really competitive market if we do what everybody else is doing. And this means that traditional digital marketing is no longer enough. Okay, we can no longer rely on just our Facebook and our Instagram and our Snapchat or anything to do with something digital. There's only so much that we can say that would be differentiated to other people if we don't, or to other clinics, that it doesn't differentiate us enough for us to actually get the patient into our clinics. And that's exactly the core of what we will be discussing today. Now, I want to start with what I'm not going to tell you. Okay, the last thing you'll hear me say today is delete your Instagram, delete your Facebook, stop posting on YouTube. You'll never catch me saying that. It's never going to happen. What I will tell you though is that there are ways to, let's say, wake up your database through other means that aren't so digital. I mean, WhatsApp, for example, is digital, but it's a, let's say, a non-conventional or non-traditional approach that can really truly differentiate us if done in the right way. Now, the conversations that we're going to have today are going to surround events, brand collaborations, as well as WhatsApp. Okay, and as I'm going through these topics, I'm going to give you certain, let's say, tips and tricks that I've picked up along the way. Also, I didn't mention in my introduction, but for anybody who doesn't know me, I am a marketing specialist who has been working in clinics in Dubai for about 2 years now. So I have been in and out of the clinics. I've seen it all. I've worked with standalone doctors. I've worked in hospitals, etc. So I've seen what everybody does, and this is kind of my sweet summary into what you can do for your own clinic. Now, I actually will come back to that. I want to discuss events a little bit first. Now, when it comes to events, okay, events are a psychological game. When I tell my clients or when I tell clinics, hey, you should be setting up events, the first thing that they're going to say is, oh my God, I'm going to spend all of this marketing money or efforts on events and no one's going to show up. Okay, no one's going to show up because who cares that my clinic is hosting some sort of talk? Now, I'm going to give you all the tips and tricks for you to make sure that your events work out, that people actually do show up. Now, when I say set up events and I know people are going to show up, I'm speaking from experience. I'm speaking from numbers, okay? The number one tip that I can give everybody is take the emotion out of things. Don't let your fears stand in the way of your clinic's success. Okay. If just because you think that no one's going to show up, it's not 100% true at all. Okay. Now, when it comes to events marketing, okay, there's two types of events that you can do. There's a type of event where you invite people to an open day or an open house or an open event where you tell patients, okay, and I'm going to explain to you what I mean by you tell patients, okay? But essentially, you tell patients, come to this event on this specific day, and I will give you a bundle of services. So let's say I am a dental clinic, okay? Let's say I'm a dental clinic and I want to set up an open day on first day of Ramadan. Let's say. Not a great example, but let's just say. And I tell my patients somehow, okay, I communicate to them that I want to do a dental cleaning with, I don't know, a dental clinic with a dental checkup and maybe Zoom whitening as a bundle. So normally, if you get these three different things together, they would be a certain price. But if you bundle and confuse them a little bit, it essentially comes out for a cheaper price, let's say. So that's one way. You tell patients, cool, if you come on the specific day, we're going to have this bundle and you can come and do it only on that day. Now, what that does is it creates urgency. Okay. Oh no, I can't get this deal on any other day, so I have to come up to the open day and I will get the bundle on that specific day. That's one way. And by the way, that works the same way for medical clinics as well as aesthetic clinics. Okay. Let's say you mix a hydrofacial with a round of Botox, if you can do that. Okay, I'm not a medical professional, but let's say you bundle two services up. Medical is the same way. Perhaps if we're a women's health medical clinic, maybe we do a pap smear combined with a women's vitamin check or something like that. And you say, on this specific day, we cordially invite you and your friends to come by and get this specific bundle. So that's a paid event, okay? People are coming in and they're paying for this bundle of services and they're getting it done. Now, the other way, which I think is a much better way of doing events, okay, which is to create a theme and design a day around that event. So what does that mean? It means picking a theme and having our medical professionals educate in it. Okay, so in this type of events, I always talk about something called bite-sized lectures. Okay, so those are 5 to 10 minute lectures max, and essentially you say, okay, cool. Let's say we are a clinic in orthopedics, let's say, and we want to raise awareness on e-mobility for the older generation. So we're gonna call it Mobility Open Day, let's say. Cool. So what I would communicate to all of my people that are listening, to all the patients, to all the people that I want to target to come to my event, we're gonna say, we have an event coming up and it's for mobility. We want to raise awareness on aging generations' immobile practices. Would love to invite you for you and your friends for a fun day, for a fun-filled day with activities um, and we want to kind of lecture you to understand what it is exactly that we do and why we think it's important for us to raise this type of awareness. Now, this is where the trick comes in. Okay, remember at the beginning of the slide, I talked about events are a psychological game. Now, let's be so honest. People don't really come out of their house to go to a clinic to learn about immobility in older people. They don't want to hear about women's health. They don't want to hear about, for the most part, they don't want to hear about menopause. They don't want to hear about how to take care of yourself after getting Botox done. For the most part. Now, there's some black sheeps here and there, but for the most part, I would say that people aren't so motivated by the educational aspect of things. What they are motivated by, though, is coffee and tea and food and community. What people are motivated by is the idea of exclusivity, that they are some of the only ones that are able to attend this very VIP event, that they would get to eat and drink and network with other people. So really, my kind of, let's say, overall message when it comes to events is actually focus on your messaging, your delivery, and your overall package that you're presenting. Okay. Three really important takeaways that I want you to kind of keep in mind is when it comes to events, you have to highlight the food and drink aspect. You have to come up with fun goodie bags, okay, for people to take away. And the last thing, which I haven't discussed yet, and I will just now quickly, is creating these events in a way that keeps the patients coming back. Okay, what I like to do is I like to create a little activity at the end of these events. It can be names out of a hat. It can be a little quiz about what we just discussed. It can be whatever it is. Create some sort of activity where you have to give people prizes in the end. And what I would really, really, really suggest is to create prizes that would keep them coming back. So let's go back to our example of the orthopedic clinic. Let's say I am an orthopedic clinic. Again, I'm going to discuss mobility in the aging generation. I've invited all of these young men and older men or women to talk about immobility. At the end of it, I'm going to ask them scientific questions. Okay, so obviously keep them simple and engaging and funny and fun. But at the end of it, after I've asked these questions, I'm going to give them back maybe a DEXA scan, a free DEXA scan. Okay, so maybe I'm going to do it to three of the individuals there. And then I'm also going to give 50% off, I don't know, consultations or 25% off x-rays. Something that would essentially, okay, the next time these people think of me, or the next time they think of wanting to see an orthopedic clinic, they're gonna think, oh, I have 50% off of that clinic, or oh, alternatively, even if they haven't won these, they're gonna think, oh, remember that clinic that I went to for that event? Cool. I want to actually I want to go there because it's kind of a way of lingering, of staying in people's minds. Now, with all of that being said, okay, the number one question that I get is how am I going to market for these events? How do I ensure that people are actually going to come to these events? And that's in two ways, okay? We have brand collaborations and we have WhatsApp. And I'll explain exactly what I'm talking about. Now, brand collaborations is when two entities essentially collaborate. They do something together, two brands. It doesn't have to be two clinics, it doesn't have to be two hospitals, two whatever. It can be, for example, let's say if I'm an aesthetic clinic, maybe I collaborate with a salon, okay? If I am a women's health specialist, maybe I will collaborate with a midwife center or just with a standalone midwife. Brand collaborations are a very successful way to market yourself to a completely fresh and new database. And it also can be a fantastic way to set up an event. And I'm going to give you an exact example of how you can do this. And I'll give you from something that I've actually historically done before. So some time ago, I was working with a polyclinic, so aesthetic, dental, and medical. And downstairs, this clinic was this huge coffee shop, and this coffee shop was filled with VIP or VIP people in Dubai. That's very important, people, but with VIPs, okay? And for the longest time, I always just thought, oh my God, we really have to do something with this cafe downstairs. It just is a great opportunity for the clinic to kind of start attracting those people that are just coming to drink a coffee into the clinic. So I went to the manager and I, explained to him what it is that I wanted to do with them. And of course, I always lead with a compliment. Oh my God, you guys have a really cool cafe. I love it here. I love the vibes. I love the people that come here. You guys are awesome. After that, I lead with what it is that we want to do for them. Okay, we really want to enhance your brand and add on to what it is that you add on to patients by collaborating together. Okay, and I think that a successful way that we can both benefit from is if we set up an event at our clinic and market you guys everywhere. If you want to cater the event, we'll put your name everywhere. We'll post you on social media. We'll do all of these things. In return, what we want you to do is to tell your entire database about us, tell your entire database about the event that we want to do, and we want to see these people upstairs. And we also want you to hand out these flyers to every single person who purchases a coffee. And vice versa, we're going to do the same upstairs with our patients. And that was possibly one of the most successful events that I have done yet. That was an awesome event because it was very minimal marketing. All it was a WhatsApp message and a an email that was sent to their entire database as well as the clinic's database. And that's it. Two databases were kind of collided, and people had loads of fun. We had coffee, drinks, we had activities, and we had some doctors lecturing, and it was a really, really lively event. And a lot of long-term patients were born from there because it's a convenient location. It's just upstairs, the usual, it's upstairs the cafe that they normally frequent, and so it was very, very convenient. So this is just one of the many ways that brand collaborations can be used to market an event. Um, and just because I'm running out of time, I'm going to quickly move on to WhatsApp. Okay. Now, WhatsApp, here's what I'm not going to tell you to do. Do not start bombarding people with emails or, sorry, with messages nonstop. Thank you so much for doing this, or we have this promotion, or whatever. Whatever it is that you think I'm probably telling you with WhatsApp is probably wrong. Okay, the last thing you want to do is to communicate to your patients through WhatsApp. You want to be professional and you want to keep a tone of seriousness and yeah, professionalism through email. I think it's very tacky to message people through WhatsApp and and kind of bombard people with these annoying messages. What I will tell you to do though is to try to integrate your brand within WhatsApp groups. Okay. So there's a lot of types of groups, especially here in the region. Okay. There's groups of British people, there's groups of Arabs, there's groups of Iranians, there's groups of people who play tennis, people who play paddle, people who do all of these different types of things. And some of these groups are huge, and some of them are medium, and some of them are tiny. Now, what I would urge you to do is to focus on the smaller and the tinier ones rather than these huge, huge ones. Okay, like let's say British Mums of Dubai. I'm sure a lot of you have heard of it. It's a great group, but it's not a fantastic one in the sense that you are less likely to get a return, okay, than if you were to get more cozy with the smaller ones, which are much less marketing saturated, less clinics know about them, less brands know about them, and so you kind of differentiate yourself. Once you join these groups, you begin to interact as a normal person, and then eventually you begin to market it, whatever it is, your brand, your clinic, your event, etc. After having had a speak with the admin. Now, I have found that this is a really, really successful way of marketing an event just because it's a bit unusual. A lot of these groups, especially if you go like the paddle or tennis route, or if you go, to very niche groups, they're not used to being marketed something like an event. So it works to kind of differentiate you, and it really attracts people to come to this event. I found a lot of success focusing especially on women groups. Okay, I find that men are a little bit harder to market to, but I do think that they are a viable facet for you to explore, but I wouldn't make that your primary marketing target. Okay, men. Women tend to be much more likely to come to these events, bring their friends, bring their kids, eventually their husbands and their boyfriends and everybody else. Whereas men are just like, oh yeah, I'm just going to show up and sometimes not even show up. So that's just from my experience. Now, to kind of wrap up quickly, the number one trick that I would do is to definitely track, okay? What a lot of people fall short of when it comes to non-digital marketing is they forget that it's exactly the same as digital marketing, okay? Um, you have to track. You have to know what it is that's working, what it is that's not working, how many people came, how many people showed up, how many people booked, how many people came from that WhatsApp group, or how many people came from, the brand collaboration that I did. You have to basically understand, let's say after 6 months of doing this, you have to understand what's working and what's not working. And what's working is where we're going to really put the efforts and the money into. And what's not working is what we're going to kind of dilute a little bit. Maybe not stop, but dilute. I find that the more you track, the easier it is for you to work towards a number. And when you're working towards a number, you're much more likely to grow, to prosper, to attract more patients, to whatever it is that you're optimizing for. You're much more likely to kind of get there. You want to track engagement, conversion rates, the effectiveness of different marketing strategies, and based on the data that you get, you want to pivot. Okay, let's change route. Let's try this. The part about marketing that I think a lot of people forget is that it's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be exciting. Okay, it's not supposed to be stressful and awful and oh my God, nothing's working and I'm freaking out. No, it's supposed to be, okay, this thing hasn't worked. Here's the million other things that I can do. Let me keep pivoting until I find the thing that actually works for me. And you can only do that once you're working on real data and not assumptions. That would be all my time for today. Thank you so much for listening, and I look forward to seeing you in Invictamed's next event.